Hi Pisces, and thanks for joining. This is going to be your reading for October. Please tune in with me while I'm shuffling here. And as you do so, connect to your higher self and ask your higher self to tune in and connect with my higher self so that we can create a feedback loop. We want to make sure that the messages that come through here today are tailored for you. So please take a moment here to set up that dialogue. And if you do, this reading will be very much a personal reading. So settle into a comfortable posture and grab a cup of tea and some headphones. It really helps to pay attention to the messages if you're not distracted by external activities. And if you have headphones on, then you're going to have me right in your ear. So I want to make sure that you get the most out of your time here with me and you're not distracted by multitasking. So please bring all of your presence here for your reading for October. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, Aries, so my first impression as I was putting the cards down is that for some of you, you may be dealing with some issues in a domestic environment where you may be kind of feeling a bit stressed out and, you know, maybe under the thumb of a person who might be domineering or having a kind of power play or power trip. There's some kind of imbalance of power here with these two quadrants that I'm holding up. We have the Emperor with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the King of Wands with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So this is telling me there's some kind of person in your environment that you might be dealing with who is clearly they are in their authority. They're a powerful person, and they have how should I describe that? They have a position of leadership. They have a position of authority. They are like kind of, they have a certain status, and they also think about themselves in a certain way. You might be dealing with someone with a little bit of an ego. But what I'm seeing in the cards here, with this Ten of Cups also in the reading, Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, there could be some kind of family situation where you are dealing with a partner. Maybe someone, you might have separated from your partner. That could be what this is for someone watching this. You might have separated from your partner, but that person still has some kind of control issues that they're playing out with you. And it could be leaving you feeling a little bit frustrated and a bit emotionally challenged to have to keep dealing with someone that has this kind of hold over you somehow. So that's what I feel is happening on kind of a mundane, daily, kind of earthly level. But what else is being spoken of here is the energetics of that, and some of it has to do with self-confidence. Some of it has to do with what that person could be teaching you is how to embody your own authority and rise up to meet them as an equal, because it may be that you are not actually feeling that in yourself. And that could be a financial thing actually for some of you. That could be, this person may be able to have that kind of power play over you because there's some kind of financial dependency on them. That's for some. So one way to kind of help break out of that dynamic is to either, you know, work on the internal space of your own personal sense of where your power and authority is, and if that person does have a financial upper hand with you, there is a need here for you to find other ways to feel empowered in the circumstances that you're in. Because what it's saying here is that you may be feeling really, really frustrated and a little bit I'm hearing nitpicking. So the person that you're dealing with, this could be a person, or it could be just a situation in general. It could also be a boss. It doesn't have to be a partner or an ex-partner. This could be any type of situation where you're in a a kind of complex dynamic with another person, and there is an imbalance of power, and it feels like this other person is kind of having some kind of power trip over you. So there is a description here in this quadrant of the reading with Temperance and the Queen of Swords in the reverse position. This is saying here that there's a need for you to find a way to balance out the situation energetically and find sort of courage and strength and honesty within yourself to be able to kind of recalibrate your own frequency, your own energetic matrix, so that you can kind of either it's not about kind of counteracting that person by coming at them with the same type of power play that they're having, but rather coming from a place of compassion and understanding and forgiveness, with the moon here as well, to be able to, because what I feel here with this Queen of Swords in reverse is that you may not feel empowered to speak up about what you feel is an imbalance, or what you may feel is an injustice that this person may be kind of playing out with you, you know. So I feel there's a need here for you to kind of get a little bit more resourceful within you and figure out how it is that you can rise up to meet this person energetically, but from a place of real power and compassion, not from this inauthentic place where this person might be coming from, whereby they might be playing out some kind of trip on you because there's a financial element at play or a status element at play. And some of what might be getting reflected back to you is that this person might be an embodiment of some kind of part of you actually where you may be experiencing insecurities or a lack of authority or lack of power, and this person is kind of reflecting that back to you in order for you to see where it is that you need to rise up within and challenge yourself to gain more confidence and gain more vitality and gain more communication is a very key part of this. I feel like there's a need here for you to learn how to be empowered in your communication, to be able to neutralize or dissolve or meet the person's energy in the way they're delivering it to you, so that it kind of just diffuses it. Okay, so see where that lands for you and see if you can work with that, because I feel that's a key part of this, of the energy of this reading, is that the place where you'll be able to, I feel, kind of bring the scales back into balance is by how you restore and hold your energetic body, and then how you communicate to this person, or in this situation, if it's not one person, but if it's an event or a circumstance, how you hold yourself energetically and how you communicate your position is very important in this circumstance here. What else is here? In the Hopes and Fears quadrant, you have the Two of Swords with the Seven of Cups. Now, both of these cards are kind of making me feel like there is lack of clarity with you, or you may have uncertainty about, again, where your power lies, or who you are in the world, or how to present yourself. Like I feel like there's a need here for you to, again, work on confidence, building your self-confidence here, so that you can actually really channel the authority that you are and the authentic person that you are into the world in a way that is clear and makes sense and isn't vague and isn't wishy-washy and isn't hiding and isn't like that. There's a really deliberate energy that you approach your presentation with in the world, so that you can be really clear. And I feel like in doing that, you'll be able to eliminate some of the places where this kind of energy can get in and kind of affect you. That's part of what the message is here. Like if there is this kind of power play happening externally, it has to do with you not being clear about your energy and who you are and how you're presenting yourself. But I feel here as well with this Three of Cups in the crowning card position of the reading, I feel like there's this energy from you where you want to just always bring a good vibe, a friendly vibe, a socially, like a what's the right word? Congenial. You want to always be a congenial person. You always want to be nice. You always want to be kind, and you always want to present that kind of face. But you might be behind closed doors, feeling quite angry and frustrated about the situation and the way it's playing out. And it's important for you to kind of take note of those things that I mentioned earlier with regard to communication and confidence, because that's a key element in this reading. Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck now. Three of Pentacles, King of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. A lot of Pentacles cards in your reading. Now, these extended cards here are kind of telling me that there is a significant possibility here for you to actually meet this person in an equal way. You know, like this, I feel like this Three of Pentacles and this King of Cups is describing you as a kind of countermeasure to this Emperor with the Six of Pentacles. Like this is you rising up in your emotional intelligence and in your confidence and in your poise and grace to meet this person eye to eye, this Emperor character who may be having some kind of physical, financial, or energetic status or power trip, or some kind of egoic expression of a different, like a level of authority that maybe feels a little bit unfair to you. Like it feels like this person may be trying to keep you in a certain place. And I feel that you have the potential here with these cards to actually really rise up and meet that person in a way that feels really equal, that feels really balanced, that feels really compassionate as well. Like Ten of Cups again with this Temperance energy and Moon energy. There's a lot of water energy here. It's like this is not about gender at all, but I do feel like that character may be a masculine person, and you're kind of cultivating feminine qualities as a way of meeting and not counteracting, because that implies a kind of battling kind of energy. It's not about battling this person. It's not about trying to fight fire with fire. You're bringing water to the fire to kind of diffuse any tension or any like instability or unhealthy kind of power play that might be happening here. And then Ace of Pentacles with the Seven of Pentacles here. For some people, that could be describing specifically that in this situation, if you've been trying to deal with someone who is having a power trip, you might realize at a certain point, okay, I'm going to give a completely different reading now. That was one layer of messages that came through, and that was for some specific people. Now I'm seeing some different messages here that are specifically about if you have been involved with someone on a work project level, on some kind of like collaborative thing, it might be that you are realizing that you may not be able to actually continue working with a certain person because you may have discovered that their ego is too much for you, or too out of control, or that they are too domineering, or that they may actually be also dishonest and not completely on the level with you. And if that's the case, this is saying here with this Ace of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles reverse, that you might just be realizing that you might want to retract from whatever promises you made or from whatever agreements you made and withdraw. And maybe you'll take a loss with the Seven of Pentacles reverse. It's possible. But you might be able to see that it's not worth pursuing longer with this person, because it might not be a sustainable venture given the nature of this person's personality, and perhaps also the nature of their character might not actually be one that you can continue to work with, because it could actually devolve even further. Okay, that's a specific message for someone there. So I didn't really talk about the central axis of the reading, the central cards. You have Judgment in reverse with this Ace of Wands as the crossing card. So in either reading there, whichever messages you felt were for you in that so far, what I'm feeling here with these central cards is that there is realization here for you. Whatever the nature of the circumstances, the way they're playing out for you, in this reading it's saying here that there is a chance for you to have a revelation, for you to gain understanding with the Judgment and the Moon and the Temperance. These major arcana cards here are saying that there is a chance for you to have a flash of insight, an understanding about a circumstance, understanding about either a specific person, about yourself, about the context, the scenario that may be playing out, something along those lines. There is a chance for you to have deep understanding and awakening. You can have an awakening here about what's going on and see from a much deeper and a much more metaphysical perspective what's playing out here in an energetic way, in a deeper way, in a kind of magic kind of way, and you might be able to transform yourself and a situation if you're able to use that illumination that you receive and actually take action from that point. It's one thing to have a flash of insight and have an understanding about something, but it might not actually transpire to be a transformative thing unless you actually do something with that. And that's what these central cards here are saying, Judgment and Ace of Wands. So do with that as you will. I feel that's it for the general reading. I'm just going to check over here. Communication is key. You being really honest with yourself about you is important here. You being really genuinely honest about where and if you may be lacking self-love and self-confidence that might be allowing certain circumstances to play out in your environment that you feel maybe a victim of. Okay? So be really honest about how you view your circumstances. View as from a higher perspective, from an objective perspective, from a witnessing perspective of from where higher knowledge and understanding comes from. Okay, so remove yourself and zoom out and take a look at what's happening and really see it for what it is with raw honesty, so that you may be able to see that which is available to you as far as the insight and the clarity that is being revealed for you to then actually work with and take action upon to really alchemize and transform not only you but a context, the environment and the circumstances and the other people that are in it. But it has to stem from you being really honest about yourself and seeing what's actually playing out, like what information is coming out and being revealed in the external world from the unconscious mind, what old patterns, what belief systems, what thoughts are manifesting in the physical realm that are showing you how you think about yourself and how you think about your reality. So that's what's available here. Get really honest here because you have a big opportunity to really transform something. You could be breaking an old karmic cycle here with this one. That's what it feels like. Okay, that was it for the general reading. I'm going to take the Voyager deck now and do another spread using the same spread, another reading. This is going to be a higher octave reading, which will hopefully provide a little bit more insight on what may be happening on a karmic and spiritual level. It will hopefully also provide some guidance on how to best work with the energies available to make sure that we're getting the most out of the opportunities that are available, out of the lessons that we're steeped in at this time. So once again, tune in with me while I shuffle and send your energy into the deck. Ask your higher self to pass along any messages through me that would be helpful to you at this time to solve the mystery that you're embroiled in at this moment. One more shuffle. Judgment in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Same card that we have at the central position of this reading and in the same orientation. So that's very significant. I feel that that's also an affirmation or an indication that the translation that I just gave there was accurate. 9 of Cups crossed by 7 of Crystals. The 7 of Swords, this is the same card that we have here. 8 of Worlds, 6 of Cups reversed, Ace of Pentacles, we had that there, 7 of Wands reversed, Magician reversed, Sun reversed, Child of Worlds reversed, Hierophant, the Fool, Woman of Worlds, Woman of Pentacles, Child of Wands, and 9 of Worlds, 9 of Pentacles. Okay. So what I feel is here is that in this reading, I'm not seeing those same personalities and those same energies here. This spread is much more about you and your energy and where you're placing your attention. Okay? And there is some repeating cards here that are sort of saying that, like, in the previous reading, there was this issue here potentially about the person that you're dealing with being possibly dishonest. There was also something here about this in the previous reading with regards to resourcefulness. How I'm seeing it in this reading, though, is that it's like the shoe's on the other foot now. With this card being in this position as the crossing card of this reading, this being your challenge, this is telling me that the way through this, the obstacle that you're facing now, the way through or the key to solving this situation is your own honesty or lack of it, right? So if you're the one that's if you may be hiding the truth from yourself because you might not be willing to own up to the responsibility of your own life and your own, you know, your own journey. You might have been passive in certain ways in your life and in your experience with certain people, in your certain dynamics where you allowed certain codependencies or certain types of power dynamics to play out. Maybe because of that, even though that's not easy to do, but maybe that's easier for you than owning up to the responsibility of your feelings, your experiences, your journey. Okay? So what it's saying here is that in order for you to experience the change and transformation that's much needed here, in order for you to kind of pop out of what difficult circumstances you may be in at the moment, to have a fresh beginning, to have an awakening, to have a transmutation of the energies that are pressing on you, there is a need here, first of all, for you to acknowledge that your own happiness is your responsibility and no one can diminish that, no one can give it to you, no one can take it away. And in order to come out of this cycle of what's playing out, there is a need here for you to acknowledge whatever emotional distress or grief or resentment or whatever emotional baggage that you may be carrying, that is maybe it's either an expression of your current circumstances or it's old trauma or old pain or old disappointments that you still haven't purged yet and that are affecting you now by certain. It's like when you don't heal or resolve a certain pattern or a certain conditioning, your spirit will continue to strive to find circumstances for you that exactly fit that frequency so that you can experience it again, to be able to see it, cognize it, and bring it into the consciousness, your conscious mind, so that you can shatter and dissolve and dismantle that pattern. And that's what's happening here. There's a need here for you to understand how much power and magic you have in this situation. You have the Magician reverse with the Nine of Worlds. Again, another 9 card here. This is describing how your happiness, your sense of self, your confidence, your self-love, it's all your responsibility. Seeing it in reverse here is telling me that till now you may not have acknowledged fully that you are the authority over your own life and your own well-being, your own senses, your own experience. Seeing you show up here again as the Magician reverse is also telling me that you are not yet correctly channeling energy into solving that mystery and really claiming your own state of being through ownership of those responsibilities. Here we have the Sun in reverse with the Child of Wands. This is the Page of Wands. This is telling me that there is like it's not to say that you've never experienced those things, like you definitely have an understanding and awareness of what that is. But here it's saying that in order to fully embody and master this lesson, there is a need here for you to acknowledge that you have to seek the truth for yourself, and that you will be illuminated and guided along the way, and that there is a lot of support for you from your guides, from your higher self, from a greater intelligence that is guiding you through all of this. But you need to acknowledge and accept that you are a student of the way, and that you are genuinely striving to understand, to solve, to rise up, to master, to understand life and circumstances in a way that you are able to claim all the ownership of it. And in doing that, in that moment of claiming your ownership of the responsibility, the ability to resolve and heal is actually instant. It becomes quite instant and very evident in a very immediate, very visible, very tangible way. Now we also have here in this quadrant hopes and fears, Child of Worlds, which is Page of Pentacles, and Woman of Worlds, which is Queen of Pentacles. So again, more earth energy in your reading. This is again telling me that your well-being, your physical well-being, your mental, emotional, spiritual well-being is really in your hands. And I feel that being that these are in the hopes and fears, again, it's saying like you actually are aware of that. You already understand that, but you may have been for whatever reasons kind of trying to dodge the bullet of that responsibility. And here with another page, now there's 2 pages in your reading, it's saying that there is a need for you to understand that you are a student of this path, and to be able to really get all the benefits that are here available for you, it's to acknowledge and accept that you're a student, and embody your position in that way. And from that position of humility, of a willingness to learn and grow, then you'll be able to actually receive the insights and receive the transmissions and receive the teachings that are actually available here for you. Okay? 8 of Worlds, change. I already spoke about that with this central axis here. Now the outcome cards are the Hierophant with the Fool. again, this is telling me that like this is your education. We've spoken about that a few times here with this page is talking about those being the student of the way. The Hierophant here is a card about teaching. It's about education. So seeing these two cards together in the outcome is really saying to me that this is a huge opportunity for you to kind of really upgrade your life and come out of a stage of life where you may have been really struggling and move into a space of greater joy and happiness and love and trust and like you have the chance here to heal yourself. And if you're waiting for someone else to change or to do something to help you, it's not going to work like that. It doesn't work like that. This is about you. This is about you rising up in your responsibility to take the situation that's at hand and see how you can influence it through your willingness to be that channel of loving light and compassion and healing energy, to make the shift that you really need here, to move into a new part of life where you can experience less baggage, like leave the baggage behind and walk forward, walk ahead with trust and love and compassion and a greater ability to engage in life in a really real and very all sensing, all feeling way without fear of pain, It's almost like you're avoiding pain through all of this, but that's actually just making the pain worse. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, Judgment in reverse. Two of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Worlds, Three of Cups, and Page of Cups. So another page now in the reading. And then there's the Sage of Crystals. I'm going to take that. There's also Sage of Wands. I'm going to take that. So these two sages are coming out here saying that you are being guided in this circumstance, in your situation, by a higher intelligence, by your own higher self. There is an orchestration happening that's helping you here to like be in all of these situations that you're in and be involved in specific kind of dynamics with people to really see what you need to see. It's part of your own feedback loop, your matrix of your own psyche and your own intelligence that's kind of showing you what you actually believe and think inside as externalized in other people. So there is, as I said from the beginning in the first reading, there is a huge opportunity for you to have an awakening. This is an awakening experience, and for you to really get what there is here for you to gain, it's about being really honest. It's about being really honest about your responsibilities, about taking ownership of all the things that you feel and all the things that you have experienced, no matter how dark the trauma. And I'm not dismissing the pain that you might be feeling. I'm not trying to say that those things weren't painful or awful or uncomfortable. I'm not trying to say that the people that may have hurt you are not responsible. I'm not trying to say that at all. What I'm talking about is your own healing. The way your energy feels is up to you, right? That's basically what I'm saying in this reading. The way you feel is up to you. But in order to resolve any of the maybe externalized conflicts or dynamics with people that have friction or tension or whatever, you need to like find your internal authority and your own sense of responsibility and power within you, and build self-confidence and self-love to be able to shift your energetic matrix so that those externalized experiences of your internal beliefs won't show up anymore, because they're not real anymore. They don't exist anymore because you've transmuted them with love and healing. Okay, I feel that's it for your reading, Pisces. Just checking over here. There's a lot available here. I would suggest you watch that again. There was a lot of information in that reading. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing and commenting. And I'll see you in the next reading.